Well, we certainly do seem to know a heck of a lot more about that CEO shooting now. The suspect has obviously been caught in Altoona, Pennsylvania, after fleeing New York, after allegedly shooting the CEO of UnitedHealthcare Insurance Group. What do we know? Well, he used a 3D printed ghost gun that apparently you're able to print on your 3D printer at home with the right materials and the right program. I'm sure that won't be an issue anyone's going to bring up in the future. But it'll be difficult because what else we've learned is that he doesn't seem to be a right-wing evangelical Christian. He's a very intelligent young man. Valedictorian, went to an Ivy League school. Very into the STEM area of school, just incredibly intelligent. Clearly thought this out very carefully, down to the minute. Got on a bus that, according to this timeline, and I am going to link this timeline, it's a really good timeline. He arrived in New York November 24th. The bus originated from Atlanta, but it made 6 to 7 stops on the way to New York, so they're not exactly sure when he got on the bus. He went right to that hostel via taxi, and he stayed there until the 4th, where he clearly did what he had come there to do, and he obviously had a plan. He'd staked out the place prior, the day before. He'd done basically a dry run. He knew the CEO was there. He knew that what time he was going to come out. And he had printed a gun, so it was virtually untraceable. It's an incredible story if you think about it. And he is, what else we've learned, and his entire manifesto has not come out yet. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I don't know why. But what we do know is that he is a fan of Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. This is troubling, to say the least, and certainly lends to him not being a right-wing evangelical Christian. It doesn't look like he was active in any, we'll call them causes, for lack of a better term. But a highly intelligent young man who thought this thing through, who definitely had his motive and a backpack full of Monopoly money, which very symbolic in many ways. Allegedly, he was going to throw the money on the CEO after he shot him, allegedly. And that's very symbolic, very symbolic. And then on the casings of the shots, delay, deny, depose. So he sat in that hostel with a lot of time on his hands, just seething with rage. Delay, deny, depose. And I'm not here defending any insurance company. But what is clear is that this highly intelligent young man came to New York with a motive. His motive was murder. And he has what apparently looks like a non-right-wing evangelical Christian leaning to him. So once again, we see that it is the non-evangelical right-wing conservatives that are out doing the violence. If you're a Fortune 500 company, you need to completely rethink your security, and it needs to be reviewed immediately. And I know that there's been a lot of healthcare companies that have already removed the faces and pictures of their of their executives. A lot of other companies need to do that as well. A lot of other companies. Also, these companies have been in bed with these same people. A lot of these companies have spent millions of dollars supporting these very same people. These very same people, allegedly. But we know their support for left-wing causes, and allegedly this guy isn't a right-wing evangelical conservative. At least that's the way it looks. They have been supporting the very same people who are now shooting them in the streets. If you're a Fortune 500, you need to really reconsider where your donations go. You need to really reconsider what your long-term goal is. Your number one goal should be simply serving the customer and not being involved in any political issues whatsoever. Right or left. Can you just serve a customer? Good heavens. But this is a really good rundown. It's a timeline of the fatal shooting of the UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson and the search for his killer. I will link it in the comments below. I just find it astonishing that, once again, we have evidence of a non-right-wing evangelical conservative out there committing violence whose manifesto just isn't being made public again. Can't imagine why. I'm sure that's just absolute coincidence. And their lackeys in the media are just not bringing this up at all. Somebody else has to bring this up. You know, if this was a Trump supporter, that would be number one. There would be people out there flipping out about how we need to stop these 3D printed ghost pew-pews. We cannot allow those to be in existence. We cannot have this. We have people stalking other people in the streets. It's all because of orange Yahtzee Badman. You hear nothing. The rhetoric is, again, you know it would be the exact opposite if that were the case. The hypocrisy is, again, on complete display. The media is, again, showing their true colors, who they truly are, with their lack of acknowledgement of the fact that he is clearly a left-winger. He may be a highly intelligent young man, but he is coming from the failed academy. A highly intelligent young man from the failed academy who's clearly been brainwashed for years and years into believing that violence is acceptable, and that he is injured and an insurance company does what they do. Unfortunately, that's who they are. The American healthcare system is what it is, unfortunately. And he has no issue because, again, it's been justified. You had somebody go after Kavanaugh in his home. What happened during the summer of love? Violence has been justified by these people. Their rhetoric justifies it all the time. And now it's cost the life of CEO Brian Thompson of the UnitedHealthcare Insurance Group. You think they'd almost be on the same side. I mean, healthcare is definitely in bed with the left wing of politics in this country. And he's clearly on the left wing of politics himself. You guys are funding your own demise. The very people who'd hang you out to dry are the ones you are funding, Fortune 500s. Now you have to review your security, and you have to reconsider all kinds of fun things, such as even having your pictures in public, because the people you have funded are now coming for you in the streets. Think it over. There's definitely another way. It's astonishing. It's just astonishing. But I'm sure this story will continue to unfold, and we'll learn many more things. I'm sure it'll come out soon that he's a right-wing Trumper, don't you think? I mean, come on. Left wing is just peace, love, and all that good stuff. Thank you.